On this hot sheet, I will discuss Barbara Corcoran's bold claim on the housing market, new home sales, and a foreclosure update. Today is Thursday, August 24th, 2023. I am Byron Lazine, and the hot sheet starts now. All right, let's jump right into it. Let me know which market you're tuning in from if you're here on the live stream. And let's jump right into the big news of the day. I think Barbara Corcoran was listening to yesterday's hot sheet. Hopefully, she used the code HOT to get 10% off of BAMX and she could learn even more. Barbara Corcoran, self-made millionaire, Barbara Corcoran, that is, says the U.S. home prices won't fall, but could jump 10 to 15% if mortgage rates dip. And this is exactly what I said yesterday. And then this news breaks literally hours later after yesterday's live stream that, yeah, prices aren't falling. The home owner is in a strong position. 42% of homeowners, in fact, don't have a mortgage at all. 91% of mortgage homeowners are less than 5% on their 30-year fixed. So why would prices drop? Why would prices drop, especially when inventory is so low? And Barbara's claim is, yeah, they could jump 10 to 15% if these rates do start to drop, which, by the way, yesterday we did see them drop a little bit. It was like, they're still high, but it was great news to actually see that they could go the other direction. This is on a Good Morning America. What's first, Good Morning America or the hot sheet? That's what I got to know. See who was copying who yesterday. The Shark Tank star made these statements. It's the only tool. Is Good Morning America first? What time does it go to? They start to 7. Oh, so I guess I could be the one being claimed to have. I was not watching. I promise you, I was not watching Good Morning America here in Dallas. Don't even know what station Good Morning America is on. All right. It's the only tool the federal government has for controlling inflation and getting hold of our economy. And they've wanted to slow it down, and it's worked. A year ago, it was 9%, talking about inflation, and now it's down to 3%. Of course, yesterday's sheet I shared the rental news that I believe is going to be even better and better for inflation. So, she's going through all the inflation numbers and kind of where we're at. And eventually she believes that, yeah, the rates are probably going to come down again. Okay. They will. A lot of projections are speaking to that. Mortgage Banker Association being one of the more bullish ones that say we're going to be at 6.2% by the end of the year. And potentially, going into next year, we're going to have a 5 in the front. And think about this. When those rates do come down, to Barbara Corcoran's point, more competition could push prices up 10 to 15%. So this is a moment of opportunity potentially for buyers to take advantage of the high rate, for all the other buyers that have buyer fatigue, for them to come in and say, wow, before these rates drop back down, the competition comes back and maybe prices pop 10 or 15%. Should probably be looking right now while less people are paying attention. So I would agree with Barbara's stance here. You get more competition on low inventory, and we don't have signs that there is going to be more inventory in the near future. You get more competition on a really low inventory. It's a recipe for pushing prices up. It's also a recipe for new home sales to continue to be front and center of the real estate transaction. New home sales increased to 714,000 annual rate in July. This was just reported yesterday from the Census Bureau on the new home sales data. And yesterday we talked about existing home sales being down to just about the 4 million marker. According to NAR, you're seeing that new home sales is filling the gap. In fact, it makes up over 30% of inventory today. Sales of new single-family homes in July 2023 were at a seasonally adjusted rate of 714,000, according to estimates released jointly today in the U.S. Census Bureau and Department of Housing and Urban Development. This is 4.4% above the June rate of 684,000 and 31.5% above July 2022 estimate of 543. Now, some real estate professionals are going to get the benefit of this. Others aren't, but you certainly get the benefit of it if your new construction happening in your market to take buyers over there to really be an expert in those communities and highlight those communities to meet more people who are thinking about buying and selling. There's nothing holding you back from highlighting new construction. In fact, yesterday, saying in the back of the Tom Ferry Success Summit, and I'm talking to Jeremy Knight, friend of the show here. Jeremy Knight's actually hosting an event in Austin on September 8th. There's a link down below. I'm going to be speaking at that event, so you can get signed up for that if you'd like. And we're talking about, listing tours and how they've been really beneficial for so many real estate agents, YouTube channels, and even doing the voiceover, just simple tours of beautiful properties. And the easiest way to do that is in a new construction market, is going and touring these new construction markets and becoming the expert of that neighborhood. So there are a lot of benefits for new construction happening in your market. I understand it's hard to get those listings. A lot of times they have in-house sales departments, and the builders are just not willing to list, with a local agent. But being a local expert on those communities is going to build trust with people that are moving into that community. So I think there are a lot of benefits to that. And new homes are obviously one of the few areas we're seeing any inventory come from. New home sales being up to the 700 markers, like the most we've seen in the last 15 years, outside of the really high peak that we saw in 2020, 2021, when everyone woke up and it's like, whoa, everybody's making moves right now. Okay, this is obviously well below the crazy peak here of 2004, 5, 6, 7 range, which is good, a lot healthier than that oversupply that we got into during those months. Interestingly enough, the months of supply decreased in July to 7.3 months from 7.5, but that is the total months of supply. The all-time record, of course, is 12.2 months in January of 2009. That's super unhealthy. 7 is still above 6 months, which is a normal market, which would tell you that's more buyers in control, but it's not really telling the whole story about the supply, right? Because a lot of the inventory is yet to be completed. If I go to that chart and show you what is completed and what is not, you see that there's far less completed right now, about 70,000 homes that are completed, where the blue, the under construction, that is a big number. So there are units coming online out of these 7 months of inventory. It's about a couple hundred, 200, 250 construction. And then you have a pretty sizable chunk that are not even started yet. Okay, so that's what makes up that entire 7 months of inventory. So if you just look at what's completed, it's nowhere close to 7 months of inventory. It's probably less than the 3.3 months of inventory on the existing homes. And then, by the way, all of these slides are available for you down below, or rather in your BAMX in one place on your daily downloads. And if you're not a BAMX member, you can just use code HOT to get that access down below. 4.3 months of unsold inventory under construction. So if we look at what's not been sold now, it's 4.3 months. Now that would be, a seller, builder, developer, they're in control in this situation. It's under 6 months. So 4.3 months of what has not been sold, not bought up. All right. So and the blue and the red and the gray here show you the months completed. In the red, you've got about 1 month of inventory that's actually been completed. That's barely nothing. Months not yet started, you have about 1.5 months, and then months under construction, that's up over 4 months. So they're probably good there on construction. You don't want to get really up over 6 if you can help it, if you're the builder community. Here's the number that I don't love for new construction. That's that only about 10% of the sales, call it 13% of the sales, maybe close to 15%, are less than 300,000. You can go back to just 2020 and that number was up over 40%. So that's a huge difference on price. You get into 2012, it's like 75%. 2002, over 80% of new construction homes were less than $300,000. So quite the difference on pricing now. The $500,000 to $750,000 home is a huge amount of homes, and then 750,000 plus another big number there. So the homes under new construction are getting much more expensive right now with where we're at. So don't love that long term for affordability, but it is where we're at. Where we are not at is in any type of a foreclosure crisis. And anybody that tells you we are is just making stuff up because they remember what happened in 2007. Foreclosure inventory hits a 15th month low in July. This is a near all-time low, by the way. Decline in serious delinquencies and foreclosure inventory represents a strong mortgage performance. This is Black Knight reporting yesterday. Okay, so that 15th month low represents continued strength of the mortgage performance that's coming from Housing Wire. Loans in active foreclosure fell to 220,000, the fewest since just after the end of federal foreclosure moratorium, and we're down 63,000 or 22% from February 2020 prior to the pandemic, again, according to Black Knight's mortgage performance stats. July's foreclosure starts of 26,300. Those are 4% below the average number of such actions over the preceding 12 months and remain 39% below pre-pandemic levels. Okay, so we are just pre-pandemic. When we think about 2020 going into the pandemic, what was January and February? The economy's great. Remember the former president was like campaigning on how good the economy was, how great unemployment was. Everybody was doing well. I mean, there was a lot of check. We had, just a normal, relatively low interest rate. The market was going to be really good in 2020 outside of the COVID surge. It was just going to be a straight up good year. And foreclosures were 39% higher than they are right now. The homeowner's in a really strong position. Both serious delinquencies falling to their lowest levels since the pre-great financial crisis area, along with foreclosure inventories falling to a 15th month low, speak to the continued strength of mortgage performance and the long-term financial benefits received by borrowers that were able to lock in these record 30-year low rates for the life of their loans in recent years, since Andy Walden, Vice President Research and Strategy for Black Knight. This is what we're in. This is where, going back to Barbara's statement yesterday on Good Morning Hot Sheet. I mean, Good Morning America. This is Good Morning America and Canada for real estate professionals, right? That's what this is, Barbara. But going back to what Barbara said, yeah, if anything, prices are going to go up when rates come back down because more people are going to be able to afford. Prices aren't going to come down when the homeowners are strong. Nobody's foreclosing. Nobody's in forbearance. Nobody's, got an issue with their job right now. Job market's very strong. 42% of them don't even have a mortgage, so don't even care about the rate. And 90% of them don't care about the rate either because they're locked in under 5%. Prepayment activity fell under easing seasonal home buying pressure, along with interest rates briefly rising above 7%, ending July, obviously at 6.8. We're just under now 7.5. Prepayment was still down 28% from 2022. National delinquency rate edged up 9 basis points in July to 3.21%, but compared to the same period last year, that was down 12 bips. All right, there you go. No foreclosures happening. Yesterday, we finished off on the 30-year fixed at 7.36. And we'll see today where the Freddie Mac weekly comes in. Probably going to be above the 7.09 that we hit last week, but it was nice to see the 30-year fix the first time in seems like forever because you get so accustomed to seeing every day down. First time in a long time here, many days where we saw it come down. So we know that it can move that direction. Okay, the 30-year fixed rate doesn't just go up. It can come down too. And hopefully we get another down marker today. All right, that's your hot sheet. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you want the most out of our content, become a BAMX member. use the code HOT to get 10% out of BAMX. That also gets you 25% off of like our live events, which we have one coming up September 20th in Naples, Florida. That's BAM Camp. That's Murderer's Row of speakers. Check that out. Link down below. And I'll see you guys back here tomorrow, where I think we're going to do a live call show, Bobby. We're taking your live calls tomorrow. Okay. So I will maybe somewhere later today, I'll put on my Instagram story at Byron Lazine the call-in number. Maybe I'll even put it on Twitter. So we'll put or X. I got to stop saying Twitter. I can announce the call number right now. I will not announce the call-in number right now. Hit me up on Instagram. It'll be on my story. So the call-in number will be there on my story. Of course, we'll share it in the show tomorrow. If you're here live, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. Hit the bell. Live calls tomorrow on Free Form Friday. Can't wait to be with you. Until then, toodaloo.